Hello guys. So let's discuss today which is the best approach, manifesting in steps or going straight to the end and manifesting from there. So in this video, I'm not going to only explain you what's the best method, but also why manifesting in steps is not recommended. So what is manifesting in steps? So manifesting in steps is manifesting and micromanaging every step that you think will lead you to your outcome. In the case of the specific person, manifesting in steps would be manifesting contact or manifesting they talk to you, they approach you, or they confirm the feelings. And then it could be dates, then moving in together. Manifesting in steps could also be removing a third party if the specific person has third party, etc., etc. Now, for a job and a career, manifesting in steps would be affirming for your interview, then affirming you'll get the interview, that you've passed, and then being employed, manifesting your boss likes you, manifesting a raise, etc., etc. For money, it would be manifesting a smaller amount of money and then gradually making your way up to the amount of money that you desire. So what is actually overwhelming and I wouldn't say difficult, but I would say a little more struggling with this approach with manifesting in steps is that you will be super, super focused on if that step is going to be manifested in your reality or not. So the manifestation of one step is going to allow you to continue to the next step because you say, well, I got a contact. Now all I have to do is I have to manifest a date and then I have to manifest them liking me and etc., etc. So you will be unconsciously and unwillingly super focused on that little tiny step. And I say little tiny step because it actually is. Now, manifesting contact or manifesting dates has nothing to do with your outcome. If I could say there are independent manifestations of your outcome, but what happens is that you condition your outcome to happen through those parameters, like you put conditions. So if we have contact, then I can hope or I can at least dream to the possibility of my relationship. Because many of you in the comments say, well, how can I manifest a relationship when I'm blocked, there is no contact? Or in the case of money and a job, you think that I have to get the interview. I can't just manifest the job to fall in my lap. Like I'm not qualified, or I have to get some qualifications in order to get the job. Now, this is you thinking reason, logic. You're inserting reason and logic into something that has no reason, has no logic, because manifestation is God. You manifest as God. So what you're trying to do here is you're trying to bring logic, the logic unfolding of events, the way you think it has to unfold, instead of just going straight to the end. So what is assuming the end and thinking from there? Well, in my case, how I teach you guys, I teach you about either going general, like the end being I always get what I want, which implies that you get the relationship, the job, the money, the health, the friends, etc., etc. Or you could go specific as labeling your specific person as yours, they're mine, like claiming ownership over the things that you want to manifest. Because now, to be honest, if you wouldn't be so quick to manifest the outcome and you would sit and take a step back and really understand who you are and accept your true nature as God, you will see that the things that you actually desire are there already. You couldn't have desired something if you didn't already have ownership over it. So the only reason you desire your specific person is because they are already yours. Your job is yours. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to come up with the idea of manifesting that if it weren't already yours. So what you're actually doing, you're not actually grasping something on the outside or getting something on the outside. You're simply activating that side of yourself that already has those items. So how do you do it? How do you manifest from the end? Now that I've established that going straight to the end, going straight to your destination is the best approach when manifesting something, how do you do that? Well, first of all, how would you react? What attitude would you have? Well, in the case of a specific person, you wouldn't actually search for movement. You wouldn't search for a contact. You wouldn't, how to call it? You wouldn't be in the comments saying, you know what, it's been so long, I've seen nothing, this doesn't work. You would behave and think. And when I say behave, I'm not saying in the 3D, I'm saying mentally, because I'm a manifestation teacher, so I always teach you to do things mentally. I never teach you to do things in action. So you would mentally behave as a person knowing that they have nothing to worry about because their SP is theirs. Your SP is not going anywhere. You cannot actually lose them because they're yours. The job is yours. You cannot actually lose it. So it's a day-to-day showing up as that person that already claimed ownership over their items. Think about this. You have claimed ownership over your furniture in your house. When you go to your job, you don't think, what is the couch doing? Or what is the chair doing? You're not questioning yourself. You know that it's at home, waiting for you, waiting to serve its purpose. And if you don't think the same way about your specific person, or about your job, or about your money, it's because you are still under the influence of the illusion of free will. The reason I insist so much in reminding you guys that your people and your items, your desires, your job, your money, your health, they don't have free will in your reality, is because this is one of the two fundamentals. Like, the two fundamentals are, you are God and there is no free will. So most of you get tripped and think that your specific person is not any different. It's different than a chair, because you say, well, the chair is an object. It cannot move on its own. Well, neither can your specific person. Neither can your boss. They cannot take decisions on their own because you're the only one breathing life into them, and you're the only one imposing your will and your desire upon them. So they don't have the will to decide. Now, instead of judging my words, and instead of saying, well, you cannot compare people to objects, I would like to invite you to do reverse engineer and say that when you assumed the breakup, or you assumed you are going to be rejected, you got exactly that. So I guess people in your life were actually behaving as puppets, right? They were behaving exactly as a marionette. You were pulling the strings, so there was no big difference. And I don't view the issue when I say those things. You cannot accept it when it's in your favor. You can accept it when it's against you, but you cannot accept it when it's in your favor. So now, approaching your end is like, what do I want? Do I want this? Okay, I want this because it's already mine. Otherwise, I couldn't have come up with the idea. So, okay, I want it, it's mine. Now what? Because many people ask me, what are you going to do from the time you decided and until the time it shows up? Well, you live your life. And if you do anything other than living your life, if you're revolving your world around this idea, this subject, which is the concept that you desire to manifest. So if you revolve your life around your SP or around the relationship, understand that you have put this concept, this relationship or this SP separate from you, and you've put it in charge unconsciously and unwillingly, but you've did it, and you've put it in charge of your manifestation or your outcome, when, to be honest, it never was. You don't accept these words, go back to reverse engineer, say that they never were in charge, you were the only one in charge. So, you remain there, you remain in the decision that this is mine. The same way you decide for any other things, like for all the objects that you do own at this moment, for the cars that you already own, for the house that you already own, you do the same thing with the things that you now consciously want to manifest, because most of you don't even realize, and you think that you're just starting to manifest, but no, you're not. You've manifested the things that you already have unconsciously, so understand, how did I manifest this? Okay? Do a little analyze. See how you manifested. If you would just bother to do reverse engineer and understand that you're the source of everything, none of this will be difficult anymore. You would learn to embrace and accept the power that you have and the power that you are. So yes, manifesting from the end, it's always best because it takes care of all the little steps that you think need to happen in order for you to get your manifestation. And manifesting in steps, it's overwhelming, struggling, because involuntarily you are going to look in the 3D and check in the 3D for every single step, instead of just embodying the identity that knows or decides, that gets everything they want. And your power will just take care of the rest. Everything will take care of itself. You don't need to micromanage every detail. No wonder so many of you are so tired and sick of it and sick of manifestation, because you've done it from a wrong approach. And now another thing, I know this video is long, but to be honest, I don't give a fuck. So, now another thing that I want to talk to you about is, many of you will be in my comments. I know I assume this, so because I assume it, it will be so. You will be in the comments and say, well, how am I supposed to believe that I'll get a whole ass relationship when I don't even know the guy? He doesn't even know me. He doesn't even talk to me. How the fuck am I going to assume that I'm in this wonderful marriage when I can't even manifest a text message? Well, I invite you to accept more your power and not work, but embody more the awareness that you are God. Because when you manifest in steps, you're doing it from a human level, and you think that it has anything to do with your human self-concept of being beautiful or being young or being, I don't know, whatever guy's condition you put upon yourself. I don't know what condition, or being wealthy, or... But when you go straight to the end, you're doing it as God. Like, now imagine God. Would God sit around, manifest a text message? I think God wouldn't give a fuck about a text message. It would be like the breadcrumb of the breadcrumbs, right? While it's nice to be an experience, it wouldn't be a whole ass manifestation, you know? It wouldn't be an outcome in itself. So, all of you that don't think you are deserving and worthy of manifesting a whole ass relationship out of thin air, even though right now you're not in contact, or you're unemployed, or you're poor, or I don't know what you manifested to be, I invite you to truly recognize your power and truly accept the fact that it has nothing to do with worthiness. It has nothing to do with being deserving or being valuable. It has nothing to do with all of this. And you're still thinking in human terms, and you're still thinking that you have to meet some requirements, or that you have to take the stairs in steps. By the way, I made a video, it's called the elevator method, so I guess it's related to that video. Okay, that's it for today, guys. Decide, and it is so. I love you. Bye bye.